morning, Kenneth Best, Nelson, Mulimutia. Yes, Atana Go TV. I've just purchased this Go TV for someone. Come to cafe and so what happens is if you buy just the decoder, this, and and then bogatako antenna, because from what I understand, their original antennas are non-original antennas. So this is I think the original antenna that comes with the Go TV. So if you haven't bought your Go TV for my show, the cafe, this is your chance to buy. I'm not selling though, I'm just showing you. You can buy from a distributor near you. But I hope you're doing well from wherever you're watching the show. So this is the antenna pack. It has, I think this is the planned antenna for the Go TV. I'm thinking it receives better than the old antennas. It should be able to receive better than the old antennas. Yeah. Yeah, but I hope you guys watching from Arua. How is Arua? At the Rubo. Michael Warren. Now, Michael Warren, my TV show, The Cafe, is showing today at 8 p.m. on the TV called Pal Magic Loco. Yes, I produced and directed this show. Okay, I co-directed. Yeah, I had some things to do. Nang to say that it's not just you. Yeah, Western Nile. You know, I've always struggled with understanding West Nile. Like there's a place called West Nile. I've always, okay, West is in the West, and then you have West Nile. Then someone showed me on the map that West Nile is actually in the West, which is west of the Nile. Yes, but in the beginning, okay, these guys that I say they are in West Nile, why are they not headed in Barada direction? They are headed Ginger direction, which is east. So it always confused me. Yeah, until someone showed me why it's called West Nile, and then I understand. Yes, Wilbur, thank you. Good evening. Can you advise someone to facelift Alex from 2003, 2000? It depends how much you love your car, and it depends how long you see yourself driving that car. The cost, you also have to look at the cost, because you have to buy a bumper, you buy a bonnet, you buy the fenders, you buy the lights, you buy the grill if it doesn't come with a bumper. Yeah, and then in the rear, I think you just buy the lights if they fit. You can facelift. It depends on how much you want your car, because people facelift cars. I have a friend of mine who bought a Subaru recently. He bought a Subaru and then he bought aftermarket lights, which look really nice. He bought aftermarket lights. He put a reverse camera, and he did so many other things. That put an Android screen, which he spent I think 800,000 on. Yeah, he's basically been working on his car like tirelessly. He does so many things. So why am I stationary today? I'm from Kalerwe to buy stuff. We buy once a week, and then I have to wait for someone that I have to go home with. So I'm parked at a place somewhere. I'm going to move and then go to another place, which I don't say for security purposes. So that's why I'm not moving. I'm going to move briefly, and then I'll park again. West Nile is in the west of the Nile. Yeah, you know, Michael, I was struggling with the fact that these people take buses and the buses go east. Yet they said they live in the West Nile. I think you get where my struggle was. You guys take buses that go east, yet you say you are West Nile. West and east don't. Yeah. So, but Tabo Frank, you can facelift Katinze. I've wanted to facelift my car for a very long time, but I don't see the parts that look like I've facelifted. For me, I find that you facelifting from 2003 to 2007 is almost nothing. It's just going to cost you money. The lights look the same, the bumper looks, it's just the grill that is different, and the fenders. You get, so in a way, I find that instead of facelifting, why don't you just buy Binovivaite and all go to people that personalize cars, but they use fiberglass. You get, they use fiber to put those things. I think that will cost you a little less money, and then your car looks a little different without you actually having to buy so many things. Because bonnet, bumper, the fenders, the lights, and all for what? So that your car looks a little like a new Alex. You get, eh? I find that it's, you see the guys that facelift V8s and VXs, eh? Their car totally look different. Like when you look at it, you think, oh, it was manufactured yesterday. So that's the facelifting I would expect someone to do if they wanted to facelift their car. Make it look totally different. But the old Alex and the new Alex, see that about difference, yeah, man. So today I'm excited. My show, The Cafe, is premiering on Pearl Magic Loco. That's why you see that I'm excited. And also I'm from class. I'm from marketing class. I learned a lot of new things. I learned a lot of new things today, and I'm hyped. I can't wait to apply the things I learned. So unlike so many times that I go to a class and I'm wondering, so today it was a discussion. I think the lecturer intended to have to teach a lot of things, but because we are having a discussion in class, back and forth, she didn't even cover half what she planned to cover. And for me as a person, that's why I want to attend physical classes. There's those discussions, and they're really engaging. So my mind is super hyped. I'm excited for the future. I'm excited for what we can achieve in the future. So and I think that's one reason I will never stop going back to school. Like when I'm done with this course, I go back and apply for another course. When I'm done with that course, I go back, because every time I go back to learn, I get new knowledge, and then that knowledge, if I apply in my business, it's super. And I also have new plans for the love of cars because of the class I attended today. I knew today, yes, but then money, but I got a different approach to marketing, and I'm excited for the future. But I hope you guys are doing well today. I'm excited also because my show is premiering today on Pearl Magic Loco at 8 p.m. Talking about the show, The Cafe. I'm buying my neighbor, one of my neighbors, a Go TV, because he doesn't have one. And he could free to air. I want him to watch my show. And then, so the guys that are going to watch the show tonight, don't forget to give me feedback, what you think about the show. Tomorrow I have a live broadcast, definitely. Live broadcast in China, strictly for your feedback. I have a Mark II Grand, but I was thinking of selling it off and buy Sienta Advice, because I want to buy cars that can carry my family and do business too. Yes, it depends. Are you going to buy it new? Are you going to buy it used? But the Sienta, in terms of a family car, the Sienta would do better than a Mark II Grand. In terms of comfort, the Mark II Grand will beat the Sienta. Fuel efficiency, the Sienta beats the Mark II Grand any day. The number of seats, the Sienta beats the... one thing you need to know, that the Sienta has a delicate gearbox. The CVT, yeah, so, but the Sienta will do what you want it to do. It will, by the way, coming out of Mark II Grand, sitting in a Sienta will never feel the same. The Sienta is not as comfortable as the Grand, but you'll get used to it. The Mark II Grand is definitely a comfortable car. Yeah. So Kakati, those are the things that you have to consider. But switching is definitely worth it. I find that it's worth it. Yeah, I'm getting back on the road. I want to start moving. But good evening, people. Today we are going to be talking about some of the most reliable cars for us to actually consider buying here in Kampala. So I've been reading. I even took notes today. I even took notes just to make sure that I don't forget. So when I park, I'm going to get my laptop out, and then we'll start interacting. Some of the most reliable cars and why I think you should be buying them, and some of the cars that I would discourage you to buy right now with the amount of knowledge that I know. Yeah, so that's the broadcast. What's the broadcast today is about? What we want to feel them negative feel the yes kumbitani kusikaketi. Yeah, hey, you people emoroke yasisi kumbitano telina kusika ku muntu ogwo mzimu ogwo obukopi nguba gobamu. And cars have CVT engines. CVTs are gearboxes. CVTs are not engines. It's a gearbox that is called a CVT. Okay, because someone told me when their gearbox die, yeah, the gearbox will cost you about 4 million. Yeah, it will cost you about 4 million. But you know, people are surprised when someone stops at the zebra crossing. I'm actually going to shoot a video. I'm going to do a video, and I'll definitely do a series on zebra crossings. Yes, I'm going to do a series on zebra crossings. I'll have interactions with people. I've assembled the crew right now for the love of cars, and we're going to be doing serious. Oh, you know. Obeyo picha inakuba chika cho bajaji wa TVS. Ifana na Harley Davidson choka tanka ya bajaji. Ate frame ya TVS. That is not tategerekeka. But CVT gearboxes are definitely better if you know how to perform to maintain them. But if you don't know how to maintain them, they will become a nightmare. But also don't be worried, Michael, because if you buy a Sienta, for example, and the CVT gearbox dies, you can substitute that gearbox and you put an ordinary automatic gearbox. So don't worry about that. And I know so many people don't know about it. So instead of spending 4 million, if you have like 1.5, you can buy an ordinary gearbox and put it there. Babi kolanga. So today I just musomesa mvagura habu. Micah had a shaking sound. I think I talked about it on the broadcast. To discussing, I think. Was it yesterday? It had that shaking sound. I thought it was the ball joint or I thought it was the cross. It wasn't. It was the hub. Hub yali afadda nenje sonyiwa nenga sijajibula. So finally today when my mechanic came, I told you I have a number of them. So finally when my mechanic came and unwechimotoka chabia avuga bichi. Simaya galaita zebra crossing. Bananga babelolaga mulabe omusajja wamwe ayimidde mu zebra crossing wakati. Nze ngenda kulabisa abantu bonna respecting other road users. You are supposed to stop before the zebra crossing, not in the zebra crossing. Abanowa wish na ya agenze. Yeah, but I'm not a traffic officer and nja kulabisa bulabisa. Reliable car for Uber in Kampala and how is business likely to pay back. Samuel, I have a video on Uber. I uploaded it. Go to my channel, Botumala Broadcasteno. You can look through the videos. I did a video that explains Uber and rideshare apps generally. Which I did this because, well, there were so many conflicting ideas about how the Uber or you call it the rideshare business operates. So I did a video. It's about over 20 or 30 minutes that talks about Uber. So I cannot answer properly. I cannot answer that question here and you be satisfied. So one way for you to be satisfied is to actually go and watch that video. Umulabe Ismail Chimeng. Kati, how do you maintain a CVT gearbox? Don't maintain it. Don't pretend to maintain it. Okay? When you buy a car that has a CVT gearbox, all you have to do is drive, make sure it doesn't have leakages. And in case you really must do service, go to an authorized dealer of your car brand. If you drive a Nissan, find a Nissan dealer and buy the CVT gearbox from there. They know the CVT gearbox for your model of car. If you're driving a Toyota, go to Toyota, a Toyota unauthorized Toyota dealer. And by authorized, I don't mean people that have Toyota logos. Like for Toyota, you go to Sifao. For Nissan, I think you go to Bajita Batia or Kupa Motors. For Subaru, you go to Kampala Motors. Authorized dealers. These are the guys that have access to Toyota staff. So if it's Subaru, people that have access to Subaru inside information. You don't just go to any person that has a Subaru logo and think they are authorized dealers. Yeah, but the best way for you to drive a CVT and make it last is by not maintaining the CVT gearbox. CVT gearbox oil is designed to last a lifetime. The lifetime of a car, basically. As long as there is no leakage, because these parts in the CVT gearbox, they don't eat themselves. They don't eat themselves. I'm going to try and explain it. You see, the normal automatic gearbox. The normal automatic gearbox has gears. Gears have teeth. Okay? Gears have teeth-like structures. So the gears attach. The gears engage into themselves. the gears engage into themselves like whoop. Okay, and ideally what the normal hydraulic or gearbox oil is supposed to do, it is supposed to create fluidity so that these gears can move without eating each other. That's what normal hydraulic oil for the gearbox does, create fluidity. However, CVT gearboxes don't have gearboxes. That's why I'm even asking myself why they call them gearboxes. They don't have gears. They have pulleys. So pulleys, and these pulleys are moved by. These pulleys are moved by. And these pulleys are moved by belts. Like a belt attaches to one pulley, and another belt attaches to the other pulley. And then it's the belt that is supposed to move these pulleys up and down, up and down, up and down. You see? Oh, no, you know the Indian want to go in. Let me go and turn. I've seen the place very easily. So, I want to imagine that my explanation why gearbox oil does that CVT oil is meant to last a lifetime. The lifetime of a car at least. I want to explain properly and settle then is join a computer and ngende mu research wange okitegeera. Yeah, but I hope you guys are doing great. Personally, I am okay. Personally, I'm okay. Yeah, I've packed. So let's try to talk about the gearboxes. I've just revealed to you that gearbox CVT oil is supposed to last. It's designed to last a lifetime. Why? So this is Nana trying to write. Every time he comes from when he enters the car, he writes. And then this is Urban. Every time he comes, he writes. So they made my book theirs. And then I know this is Urban and Nana parts. And then this is Nana. And by the way, if you have kids, these are memories you should keep. Like this is when Urban was writing his name and then the date. These are memories you should keep if your kids are not going to be young for too long. I think that's why people keep having kids, because they have young kids and then those kids grow up. And then when those kids grow up, then they don't have any more young kids, so they want to have more young kids. So I keep having kids until they are not. But if you keep memories like this, so I want my kids to actually keep writing in this book, and then later on we can remind ourselves. Yeah, and then Urban drew a car here. Was this Urban though? Yeah, that was Urban. Yeah, and then he still wrote here. So anyway, let's go back to Chatulese. Let's start by trying to explain gearboxes, how they work. By the way, temwerabira lero ku sawa 2 abalina Go TV ne DSTV, Pal Magic Local is the station to be at 8 p.m. tulabe show yange the cafe. So gear kati gear simanyi bazikuba, but ideally I think gears are almost like this. Okitegeera, gears are almost like that. So this would be gear number 1, then there will be a gear number 2, then there will be a gear number 3, and they are bigger or and smaller depending on what. So what they have to do is another gear will have to come and okitegeera like that, and then nezekwatam okirabye. Let me see the lighting. Okirabye. So that's how the gearboxes that is made to be. Okitegeera. So ojazisanga ziri mu order no weight. Okitegeera. So zilimu eno order. So when you engage the clutch and shift the gear, something will shift it from the bigger gear to a smaller gear to a smaller gear to a smaller gear, and like that. So, but the CVT gearbox is not like that. CVT gearbox are pulleys. One is small, one is big, and there is a belt. My drawings are bad, but yeah, and there is a belt. So this would be the pulley 1, this would be pulley 2. And then the belt keeps moving up and down depending on how much power is needed. So why does the CVT gearbox, why can this CVT gearbox last a lifetime if there is no leakage on the gearbox? It's because there is no friction here. In terms of the automatic gearbox, the normal automatic gearbox where the gears are like this, when you put hydraulic oil here, it's supposed to create fluidity. Nti ebyuma senga tembamu hydraulic oil byerya. Ela for these automatic gearboxes, the way they die, amanyo gerya negagwa, the teeth of the gears, they eat themselves and so that's how that box dies. However, with CVT, because it doesn't have teeth, no manyo, the pulley keeps moving up and down. The CVT gearbox oil is designed to create friction in here. Amanyo tegajja ku area. There is no way, because the CVT gearbox creates friction. So if you put a cheetah CVT gearbox, is you creating fluidity instead of friction. So maybe you'll find that the belt breaks, or it becomes large. So that's what kills the CVT gearbox. So make sure if you're driving a CVT gearbox that you don't have a leakage at any time on your gearbox, and then just drive. Should I use driving school to protest for me? You need a driving school, Rastas, in Milan. These days, you can't do a driving permit, especially if it's the first time. On your own, it's hard. You need to use a driving school because they'll ask you which driving school did you go to. That's how the system is designed now. Money, even when the money is a problem, you need abavu atebo betaganye driving school, because if you don't use a driving school, enguzi jogendo gaberie banyingi okusinga when someone gives out money for you. Use a driving school or a dealer, but use a driving school, because even when you do it yourself, the process stays the same. Probably if you go and give the nguzi yourself, you'll be dealing with the person that gets the nguzi themselves. But how many people are you going to be dealing with? Then you have to be nguzi to each person, pola. Good evening, Kenneth Best. Joshua, good evening. Clip Films, how are you today? Sami, Ismail. Sanyu, my show is premiering today. You don't know how much struggle I've gone through to have a show premiere. Of course, for some people that have struggled much more than me and they still don't have a show on Pearl Magic will say, man, you don't know. We have struggled and we have never got it. You're lucky. But me, I know how much struggle I've gone through to get that show to finally be that is going to be shown. So I'm happy, but I'm also happy, Ismail, because I'm from a marketing class today. I have a marketing class every Saturday, and I learned a lot of things that I'm dying to apply. Right? There are things that I knew I needed to apply, but you know, when you hear people talking about telling you examples of how these things actually worked in their organizations, and then you want to die and apply them. So I'm going to apply. I'm also very, very, very optimistic about the future. Yeah, very optimistic. Not that I see a lot of money coming, but you know, I see a lot of possibilities, and I think that's how everyone should be in their life. Arthur, you just passed me. Where is Sammy? So Aderu, Michael is saying, I was talking to some friends of mine who drive Subarus. They like Okujerega Toyota, and I told them you can't compare some Mercedes-Benz to a Crown. Now I songa the guys can't understand because they don't know what a Crown is. Most Mercedes-Benz guys are driven by passion. It takes a lot of time for the passion to die away, and their passion for this. Most German cars, basically, German car owners, their passion cannot just die until they get really disappointed and then it dies. And actually, Mercedes-Benz guys want class, but the passion guys are actually the Volkswagen guys. The Volkswagen guys are passion-driven. It's very hard for you to disappoint a Volkswagen guy. I don't know what would happen to get them from a Volkswagen, but they want, they love their Volkswagens. Yeah. Wachimani, I'm live from Doha. Thank you very much. Twist is saying, is Alpha 2007 VVTI? Yes, it is VVTI. One thing you guys need to understand is that starting to around 2000, all Toyota cars are VVTI. And then starting 2010, all Toyotas are Valvematic. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So most of the 2000 model cars you're going to see. So if you recently bought a newer from the Bond and it doesn't have a Valvematic engine, so definitely it's not Valvematic. But if you bought any car you bought starting in 2010, all those cars have Valvematic engines, which together, and that's like the most advanced technology Toyota still has up to date. So VVTI starting around 2000, all cars that were made were VVTI. Of course, there are some EFI cars, general EFI cars that were still being manufactured, but then they were being discontinued. Like if I showed you a list of cars that were being discontinued after 2000, you'd be amazed. Yeah. So now we're going to be talking about some of the most reliable cars for you to buy. Some of the most reliable cars that I think you should be buying if you have not yet bought or if you're thinking of upgrading. Now after work, I come to look for your videos. I'm learning a lot, blood. Thank you very much for learning. We will watch it. We have to support. Thank you, Sir Samuel. Hey, thank you. So I'm going to be talking about some of the most reliable cars that you need to buy. And then, of course, Musomesa, your car has a 3ZR or 2ZR engine. One of those. Of course, any car that has a ZR engine right now, because those are the Valvematic cars, looking at some diagrams here that I got. So it's the 3ZR. It's the 3ZR. Yeah, it's the 3ZR. So basically, I'm going to try and point out some of the most reliable engines that Toyota has ever made. Because most of these Toyota cars, they share the gearbox. You'll find the same gearbox in a Primo, being in a Corolla, being in a Spacio, being in a Raum, or Chitegera. Sometimes even with the engines changing, you'll find that the same gearbox actually can work, or Chitegera. So it's important. So I just want to talk about some of the engines that you should be looking out for if you're going to buy. First of all, if you're going to buy a Toyota anytime, make sure you buy a Valvematic engine. Okay? Why? Of course it's much more fuel efficient than the VVTI. If you're going to the Bond, let me just make this clear. Of course there are cars that don't have Valvematic that have Daihatsu engines. Apparently Daihatsu improved their technology, so their engines are much better, and that's why you find that all the Pasos Setes, Pasos, the Vitz, the Toyota Rush, all those cars have Daihatsu engines. It's the same engines as in Buyongeza, but they even have 2023 Buyongezas, 2021 Buyongezas. So I'm thinking that their technology improved. Of course, we have to study. We have to look at what happens with these engines over time, because most of your cars are actually new. The Pasos, and we have seen that Paso engines blow if you overwork them. But you guys should remember that the Vitz engines, which were not Daihatsu, they worked and they rarely blew. Yanywanga oil na inga tekuba. But the Paso engines, especially the 1 liters, break down very fast. And I know that the same engines are also found in the Vitz. So if you want to buy, we never talked about Tesla brand, obato jimanyi. Ijeri na eka akati gosobolo jigura. Wetuda mazima. Because I talk about cars that we can actually buy. It doesn't make sense for me to research a brand that you guys can't afford. Because Teslas are too expensive. And right now, if you go and buy a used Tesla, chances are high that you're going to waste a lot of money in repairs, which may not be worth it. So Adams, yes, I know the Tesla brand exists, but majority of the people that have helped buy cars can't afford a Tesla. So that's why, because how many Teslas do you know in Uganda? How many Teslas have you seen on Ugandan roads? So Tesla. Clip films way bali muga webanga nabagagga ne baminisa benyinte bavuga Tesla bachavuga Land Cruisers. So why would I Arthur be talking about a Tesla? Yes, I can find information on Tesla but doesn't help. Amina Alan. Yeah, so right now, if you have money for the bond and you want to buy a car that is going to give you both performance and fuel efficiency, you should be looking at cars that have Valvematic engines. And right now, as we speak, the cars that have Valvematic so far, I've seen a RAV4, I've seen Wish, I've seen a Noah. Those cars have Valvematic technology, which take it as engine 3ZR. So, and the 3ZR engine is Valvematic. It's basically improved VVTi. Now, the VVTi that I'm driving, Chimiro. Normally people tell me I don't put images on my videos because sometimes I don't want to clash into copyright. Like now, if I showed you an image of a throttle body, of that throttle, that entire throttle system, I don't want to be caught off guard by copyright. So sometimes that's why I don't share those images. But anyway, anybody that has a car has that throttle. The throttle is where we basiba omuliro clip films. Otegedde ekintu kibirako kye basikanga ba racing omuliro. Eji bayita throttle. Now, EFI had the throttle, and that throttle was manual. When you look at your throttle and then you look at a throttle on the VVTi, they are kind of different. So that throttle was manual. Now, the VVTi throttle got improved. It is being helped by a computer. But it's still a little manual because you need to set. Katemoro kezija zi improving and nebakola yeza akagere. Ngato ina woyonge wosikira muliro wali maso. Ochitegera. So the VVTi has a throttle, but this throttle is entirely controlled by a computer. You cannot control it manually. And that's the improvement. That now this engine or this engine system, it can control how much fuel the engine will use. So this dual VVTi over Valvematic engine has much more technology than the normal VVTi car. Just the way the VVTi car, but mechanical budget angeda because it has a lot of because they have been with VVTi and then this is just dual VVTi. So they will say it has two VVTis and all that. So they will define it in whichever way they want to define it. So just understand that right now, if you can buy the Valvematic engine, it's the ZR series, The ZR. Mulimu, of course, 1ZR, mulimu 2ZR, the 3ZR. The first engines that were produced, you'll find that they were the S series, like the S series memari ezabedanga mu Primo nechibina ezimu 4A, 5A, ne 7A. Izabedanga nnyo mu Primo buyingi no bwabanga obutono. Then ne bakola S series Chibina, Ipsamu, Noah, Nadia, Zaina 3S, 5S. Kati 5S engine yeri mu RAV4. No, yeri mu Harrier, yeri enkadde. The 3S ebera mu Ipsam. Ochitegeera. So the 5S is 2.2 liter, the 3S is 2 liter. So bweba twe bagenda bazi improving. For example, like now the 2ZR is 1.8 liter, then the 3ZR is 2 liter. So these ZR engines have Valvematic technology. They are very good with fuel. That's why I would recommend that you go and buy. Now, why am I? It's the new technology for Toyota. So any engine that has the ZR, of course, the lower the displacement, the less the reliability. For example, the 1ZR has 1.5 liter. At 1.5 liter. Now 1.5 liter, obviously it's a little strong. Katira the Valvematic etandikira ku 1.5. Kat na ye mu motoka zino entone zisinga zetuine Kampala. Tetunafuna yoza Valvematic because Valvematic etandikira I think mu Corolla. which take it. And some of the Corollas that have Valvematic when they can't part is in Naja. And people ideally will not buy the Valvematic sedans because they are the same price as the Wish, they are the same price as the Nuwa. So kati omuntu agenda nakwa kafananyi ngule Corolla million ya 35 ngaliwo Wish ya 35 waliwo Nuwa ya 35. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So kati ogenda okwasanga omuntu ekifo ky'okugula Corolla ya million ya 35 asala okangule Nuwa ya 35. One thing you need to understand is that the Corolla that has the same engine as the Wish will have better mileage than the Wish because of the body size. The Wish is bigger, the Corolla is smaller. So it will definitely give you much more better mileage. The other thing you need to understand for the guys that drive manual, like if I went to the Bond, if I had the money to buy a car from the Bond right now, and I was going to buy a Valvematic car, I would buy a manual one. Because manual definitely gives us better mileage, and then manual being Valvematic will give you much better fuel mileage. E36 M3, brother, is it worth to use for what car is that? Eh? You want to use the BMW for taxi? Giovanna. Who would use the BMW for taxi in Africa? In Africa, you use Toyota for taxi. Toyota, strictly Toyota. Strictly Toyota Giovanna. I want to make that clear. So if you're going to buying a car from the Bond right now, try and upgrade your technology. Talk Daemu VVTI boy in a centi. Buy Valvematic. Arabi Katari Uganda. But I've never seen and I've been to Europe, I've been to South America, and I've never seen anyone use BMW for taxi. I've seen people use Mercedes-Benz. There is a time I went to Brazil, Copacabana Street for the guys that have been to Brazil. Nagenda Copacabana, I was invited by the Norwegian embassy there to perform. And I went along Copacabana Street. Yes, street Eriku Beach. And I was young. If I had been invited at my age, I did double but I was really young. But anyway, I went to Copacabana. When I went to Brazil at the airport, and the guy that drove me to the hotel took a chance on me. Was a Mercedes-Benz. Yari C200. So he drove me to the hotel, and then I told the hotel to pay him, and then they were reimbursed like that. Yeah, so I've seen Mercedes-Benz being used for taxi. I've never seen Volkswagen being used for taxi. Okujakonga Volkswagen is a van. I've seen Volkswagen minivans and vans being used for taxi, but sedans, I've never seen Volkswagen. I've seen Mercedes-Benz. I've seen Toyota. I've never seen Mazda being used for... There are those brands that I've never seen being used for taxi. So if you're going to be using... And if it's in Africa, Toyota definitely is the way to go. Hi Martha, how are you today? So if you're going to be buying any ZR engine that is 1.5 liter, I would recommend that you buy the one ZR FAE. Now I know you may not know these things. That's probably why you need to give me. Any recommending is omuntu pre-purchase inspection kumitwalo 10. But now, you people, I think all you are talking about TikTok. You guys from YouTube can't do that. So some dude called me to remove bond one to agar to kebeleke moroka. Nembuza bakugami called nkebeda sente beka. Batugami twaro kumi. Nemubuza ni echigambi. I think he called the wrong person. And I was in a class that was really going very well. Nemugamo manyimo erowozi, and I went back to my class. And yeah. So then we are talking about the engines to buy. Of course 1.5 liters is definitely better, but in terms of power, 1.8 and 2 liter would give you better performance. But if you want to look for, there is a 1.5 liter that gives you much more output, and that would be the FE because they are two. Now I totally understand when we go to the bonds we buy what is there, but sometimes you can ask for specifications of that car. Also, I want to see the exact engine that is in this car, because one the tag that shows this information doesn't normally show exactly what engine. But normally they would actually, you can look at the tag Kabakagamba, like mine has 1NZFE. It will show 1NZFE. So it would look for one that has the tag that says 1ZRFAE. Is the one that will give you better performance while consuming less fuel, which take it. And And of course, also the 3ZR FAE gives better performance. Ngate yankumi biri. Then again, of course, kati mu 2ZR mulimu eri 2ZR FXE. It gives better performance. Now, these engine codes I'm giving them to you because nebo bikula bonnet one way. Wano kataga akaraga chassis, akaraga engine number kama kakulaga kakomaawo. Nebo bogenze okugula. I think that's the difference that happened with my engine here. I'm going to read about it. Actually, in Paparezo nazisa mufailo chi. Normally, the people that have trouble with these engines, when you buy a new engine and put it in your car and it loses power, and normally it's because that code changed. Your car probably had a 1ZFE and then you put a 1NZFAE. Those codes are very important. Now, majority of our mechanics have no idea what this is. And this is the research I'm starting to do. There are YouTube channels where you go na spitting because it's a script because I know I'm going to do one video. I probably have a script like the newscasters script I'm doing here because so no if you're buying any engine, FE is good performance, but FAE is better performance. They'll give you the same compression. They'll give you the same compression, but the output and the torque, one will give you better. So the FAE gives you better torque than the FE. The 3ZR, the FE gives you better torque than the FE. Kati musomesa simanye yer ebiri mu FE over FAE. Torque gemanya ago pika torque. So that's probably one thing we need to understand. In terms of fuel consumption definitely stays the same. So if you're going to the bond anytime, if you can get a manual, can go manual. Now we should stop buying the trend. Like katinze atas level egure motoka nga nsubira okujitunda kati nagivuddemu. Why? Because I have a family, I have a home that is mine. I know that I'm going to live here for a very long time. Okay? And because I know that I'm going to be living here for a very long time, I actually have a chance to buy some things that can be with me for a very long time. So katsicha agura moroka because bajjajigura. I buy cars because of performance. Hi Antonio. So if I'm going to buy a car, if I want to buy a car, I would definitely ship my own car. If I had like 35 million and I wanted to buy a car, I would ship it. And then I would ship a manual. Why? Because manuals, for me, I find that they save fuel. They give me better performance. And if a manual car has a problem, I can identify it sooner than later. An automatic car can brave. And by the time you know the problem with the car, it's definitely, most of the times it's late for you to actually fix it. Like when I changed my engine, I saw the problem with the engine much faster than an automatic person. So it's important that we understand, like for example, the engine that is in a Sienta. Let me try and see that. 1NZFE. The engine that is in the Sienta. It's the 1NZ, but it's much more different from my 1NZE. So I've subscribed to a number of magazines where I get stuff. So let me look at NZ. I'm also going to be doing a series where I tell you what oil you should be buying, what oil I recommend that you buy for your car. And so that I'm also going to teach you how to see the codes on that oil so that you know what oil you should be buying and putting in your particular engine. For example, when you look at the 1NZ, there is the 1NZFE, which is in the cars, which is in the 1NZ, the NZE124, and my particular one, which is NZE121, and it was manufactured starting 2000. And then there is a 1NZFXE, okay, which was manufactured starting 2000. It went on, and then there is the SAE version, which was 2001, and then there is a JIS version which was done in 2012. So if you, chances are high if you buy a car that has an one NZ engine starting 2012, like the Sientas which are coming in 2012, you have the NHP 10 engine. So you don't be taking the same oil as me, who has the one NZFE engine which was manufactured starting 2001, 2000 I mean, because my model is NZE. The model of my car is NZE, and then the model of your car is actually NHP. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. What can you do for an engine that burns a lot of oil? Buy another engine. Benjamin B. Mine wasn't even burning that much oil, but I bought a new engine. Buy another engine. And I find that we should learn to, if you have a car and you intend to drive it for some time, learn to show love to that car. Kat me, I bought a new engine because I knew I'd be driving this car for a very long time, and because I was going to drive this car for a very long time, I just thought to myself, is it cheaper for me to put an engine that cost me 2.2 million shillings in the car, or is it cheaper for me to just top up 10 million and buy another car? I found that it's cheaper for me to buy a new engine because my car, everything else works properly. The AC works, the gearbox is okay, and I do the same routine checks, routine maintenance that people that buy cars from the bond do. Yes, but I can drive on the same roads with them and not even feel the urge, apart from the way the new cars look and all that. So you need to think, for a very long time, buy a new engine. This is a bay. I don't know which car you're talking about, but engines now cost between actually you can even get an engine at 1.5, and there are cars whose engines don't die. Like you see Musomesa, the engine that is in your car, the 3ZR, doesn't die. A engine itefa. You don't even need to go to Chiseka market to buy a new Japan used engine. You can get an engine kuchewa isenga namunyo. So there are engines that literally don't die. So if you're going to be driving that car for some time, I would actually recommend that you buy a new engine. So, what do we have to talk about? What cars then should we be buying? I've already talked about the Valmatic. If you have money to buy a car from the bond, you should not be thinking about buying any other engine apart from the Valmatic. Why? It will give you better mileage and better performance at less cost. And of course, then the Valmatic engines all come with CVT gearboxes, which also explain the better mileage. So now, the engine Valmatic gives you about 10% increment in fuel mileage, but then coupled with the CVT gearbox, then it will give you much more than 10%. That's why Musomesa asobola okuvuga 17 kilometers per liter nga aine moroka ya sisi 10 oba 12 nga atenze Arthur aine moroka ya sisi 5 mvuga 14 to 15 kilometers per liter. Okitegeera. So buy of course now you also need to understand that Suzuki is a Toyota car. So if you're going to buy a car from the bond, you can buy Suzuki because Suzuki and Toyota have a sort of partnership. Of course, even Subaru is in a way Toyota, but Suzuki is more of a Toyota than a Subaru. So if you're going to the bond and you're buying the latest models, 2010, 2012, you can also look at Suzuki's. Because some Suzuki's share spare parts with Toyotas. They kind of have a partnership where they can work together on production. They share research information and all that, so they will definitely be sharing spares as well, because the Toyota Starlet actually has a Suzuki engine, so they share. The Toyota guys brought a brand, and this guy bought their Suzuki. They rebranded it Toyota Starlet, which take. So it's important that you understand those things. So what cars should you be buying right now? Any car that has a Valmatic engine, buy. I have mixed feelings about Daihatsu engines, but Toyota and Daihatsu also have a partnership, so they work hand in hand to do production of cars. That's why you say the Toyota Rush has a Daihatsu engine. Passo Sete has a Daihatsu engine. The Passo has a Daihatsu engine. Vitz has a, right? So they have a partnership, and in a way, I want to believe that they have improved their quality Okay, because edanga nze Daihatsu I have it as a nightmare. Navuga akayongeza ka Daihatsu. I have a nightmare. But in terms of partnership, don't buy a 2001 Suzuki thinking it's a Toyota. It's not. If you're buying a Suzuki, it should be 2012, 2013, or those latest models. Then those, you know that they share, they share that, they share this, they share production. So you can get help even at Toyota Uganda. They can help you even ship spare parts, which tell you in case you have a problem. So for starters, I want to make this clear. I'm not yet for hybrid cars. Maintaining a hybrid in Uganda will prove to be very expensive because our mechanics have not yet shifted from, okay, now they are at the level of VVTI. Now in the VVTI is batawanya. Because now, for example, now me, now for workshop zetagama abantu abamanyo okora research ono. And currently our garages don't have that. Can research go natandi sokola wanange era mudeyo musome. But I went back to school. The things I'm going to do for the love of cars are not just random things that you do, but they are things that you do because of the knowledge you get. So every garage needs someone, a guardian angel, someone that can actually research. If I were to replace my engine now, I would replace my engine with the exact engine that was in my car. My mechanic had no idea what particular engine was in my car. We replaced the engine with the one NZ engine, but it was a different one NZ engine. So any kind of trouble that I may be having right now with this engine, or what the trouble I had then with that engine, was because the one NZ engine that was in my car is different from the one NZ engine that is in the car right now. So when you buy a car or when you have a car, you need to be particular, especially for Benjamin B that might be considering to change an engine right now. Find out the exact codes. Let me try to. I have access to. I paid for membership at different sites that ideally nobody can have access to right now if you don't pay. So let me try to see the engine models, for example, here. Let me see, for example, because even the cars, mulimu zebaita wish 10, wish 11, some of those things for us we don't know. We just buy cars from the bond. I want to look at a particular type of engine here. Let's just go back to the ZR engine. Like I said, there is a 3ZR. Okay. Now, baja kugamba 3ZR zilimza abikabisatu. Now, our regular mechanics in Kampala, they know the 3ZR. Ebirala tebagala kumanya. Ye customer nyanti moroke erimu ingini ki 3ZR. Edabwa akube simu agamba jagula spare. Njagala sensor eye motoka 3ZR ya ingini 3ZR. But you need to understand that the sensors on the 3ZR-FE are different from the 3ZR-FAE and are different from the 3ZR-FE that was made for let's say for the Dubai market. They are different from the 3ZR engine that was made for the Japanese market. Katigwe bogena no sensor, you'll buy a sensor that is for an engine that was made for the Japanese market. Ojiseku motoka je wagula ya Dubai. That's why there was a time someone wanted to buy a RAV4 with me, and the particular RAV4 they wanted was a UK version. And I was open with them, Nemugamba. Now this UK version, you're going to find trouble with it. You'll find that you're substituting spare parts, putting spare parts made for a Japanese RAV4, ngatozi ku RAV4 ya UK. I don't know if I make sense. So it's important that we get this difference. Hi Gaetano, how are you? So it's important that we get these differences. So the differences, some of these differences you cannot even know before you actually do this much research. So I think the thing is, we have mechanics that are not book educated, that are practical, they are hands-on. So tajja kumanya nti engine yanjawulo kweri era bw'onooba oyogera ne mechanic, like when we were talking with my mechanic, if I had known, I would have just talked to the person that sold me this engine, taken it back and got the engine that is exactly made for my car. So instead of the changes they made with the engine, I'm actually considering buying another engine just for the sake of buying another engine. And you take him, not because I'm spoiling money, it's because I'm in this business now. I'm in the business of cars. I'm in the business of keeping cars on the road. I'm in the business of making you owning a car by you easier by giving you knowledge. So I may actually be forced to try it, sell this one cheaper because yes, it's performing optimally, but to just put the original engine and see the performance that original engine can give me. Or because when these guys were fixing the problem I had of losing power with this new engine, they refused to tell me. But I went on reading, and that's how I bought a new laptop. You see, also no what wait, my other laptop would go far, but it would go as far as this. This one goes as far as this, which is really nice. Also dangerous because now you can actually break it. Newana. But anyway, going back to which cars you should buy, I made a list here. There are cars that are being produced to date na yenga ankadde. There are cars that are being produced to date na yenga ankadde. Like the Wish, it was produced a very long time ago, but it's still being produced. So now you can actually buy a Toyota Wish. It's much more recommended. And I know it looks really nice, right? The Wish looks nice. If you have money, you can buy the Toyota RAV4. Of course, the Mark II was discontinued. The Mark II was discontinued. That's one thing you need to understand. Techario. And I think along the way, even the Mark X. So Corollas, buy all sorts of Corollas. It doesn't matter what Corolla is there. But buy Corollas right now if you're buying 2010 and above, because I'm thinking that's what you're buying. Hi Patrick. You're buying a Valmatic Corolla. Okay? Because your Mamanya Corolla Spacio is no longer there. And some of these other Corollas that you're buying have the Daihatsu engine, which I don't trust personally. I don't trust it as yet. Because even the cars that have the Daihatsu engines are breaking down. They are breaking down already, and they are breaking down because you're overworking them. That's the same thing that happened with the Kayonges that I used to own. It would break down because, and they would say Moroko GT Kanyo. So it means that the Daihatsu guys don't actually work for performance. They don't create for performance. They create for economy. So if you're buying a car that has a Daihatsu engine, just know you're buying a car that was created for economy and not for performance. Now, all those cars, I'm not saying they are bad. You can go ahead and buy. But right now, any car that has a Valmatic engine, go ahead and buy. Okay? And of course, they are trying to make these cars in a way that we can afford to actually buy them. Bagezako Kola, a mixture of economy in terms of material, but also they are making, because they have standards they have to adhere to in terms of the environment. That's why you'll find that Nemoroke ezimu light engine ezimu tezicha zito wange zedda and things like that. But any car that has a Valmatic, go ahead and buy. Now, any car that has existed before and it's still existing, like the Alphard in the newer version, of course the Alphard then becomes the Velfare. And then there is a Corolla Touring, which is an estate, could probably be a replacement of the Toyota Fielder. And then there are so many Lexus cars that are recommended because their engines are actually very durable. Lexus engines are durable because they are performance engines. Lexus was never created for fuel economy. Lexus was created for performance. So their engines will consume a little fuel. Clip film see that change in a computer duka. Editunes. Let me tell you, this machine can render an hour of footage in Premiere in less than 10 minutes. That's how powerful this machine is. Less than 10 minutes. Ku machine jemba dena yo. ngerendering eddakiika 10 zembadde mbawo ku YouTube for 2 hours. Toyina kyongamba. 10 minutes are good enough for 1 hour. Okitegeera. So any Corolla, go ahead and buy. Buli motoka jogange eriko Corolla. Ne bweba erimu engineer Daihatsu for now. Though you need to understand that an Daihatsu engine is not made for performance. Daihatsu engines are made for economy. Okitegeera. They are made for economy. And MacBook is, by the way, editunes. MacBook muli malala ngaba iPhone. These ordinary computers actually have performance. Then Vitz, go ahead and buy. Vitz, you can go ahead and buy. Of course, the Corolla Touring if you go to latest models, there is no Toyota Fielder. Which is a Toyota Fielder in a way to kana yene ekolachi na yene ekoma. Ate ne baleta models endala. Any car that Nuwa mugule, Wish mugule, the Vitz mugule, okitegeera. Now it's the models that they introduce that you need to be careful about. You need to ask yourself, what car is this car replacing? If it's not replacing any model, be careful before you buy it. Toyota Blade. What car was it replacing in the first place? It wasn't replacing any car. But editunes, we don't need 4K or 6K. Or no HD amala, because like the TV stations in Uganda don't even run HD. They don't even run full HD. They downgrade to 720 or to I think some of the TV stations are even running 480. Some are even running 320. So it's cut 4K in your change. But it can, I'm going to try 4K and because my phone can actually shoot 4K footage. So I'm going to try and look at 4K and sport. So any Lexus, buy. But make sure you don't buy Lexus that go back and Lexus ina sisi rukumbitano ngekola yochi. Baba bakulimebege na kubonya abonya. But any Lexus car, buy and service on time. Then whenever you're going to try and buy like a Toyota, you know the standard was last produced in 1999. Man, your brain starts boiling with information. Which tegera nekati mutegede moroka za mbamugura mutegede mwabagenda mu bondi mugule moroka za Valvematic. Now if you're buying a car that is used on Ugandan roads, if you can afford to buy a Valvematic engine used, buy it. Valvematic car, because kati musomese moroka yajivuze hane iyo ngichali mpya. There are Valvematic cars that okay have been driven on Ugandan roads ngosobolo jigula ku muntu million nga 27 okitegera 28. If you find it, buy it. Like if you found a Corolla 2010 model and you could buy it like at 25 million, 20 million, and still in good condition, buy it. Our iPhone, King Daniels, kati bakozesa type C nga faba Samsung. Bakozesa type C nga aba Tecno. Techa ali tukolera malala. It's underneath, it's a EU standard. Ndoza government ya EU yaliye ko yo bamanyira. You should shoot 4K or 6K and downgrade to HD when rendering for TV broadcast. You will see. Are you sure? Anti kakati camera zenkozesa zichali 5 nchakozesa gundi. I'm still using 5Ds, eh? Yeah, I'm still using Mark 4s. So do Mark 4s even have 4K? They don't. Okujango kozesa Black Magic and some other cameras that do that. So when I'm shooting with my phone, I'm going to start shooting 4K. Do I have 4K or 2K? I'm going to try and do yeah. So njogede bimbade nyino okwogera olwaleero bannange ba people. Kambike computer yange singa MacBook okuperforminga clip films. Wadde si MacBook. So nobudde buzibye bannange n'omuntu gwe nninda ndaba tavaayo ate nyino mukubira ate ne simu gye nyino mukubirako kati nze mbadde nsaba munzikirize mbasiibula okujja nga mulina ebibuuzo naye nze kyembazzemu kinakuba mulina okubanga mukitegedde bw'oba ogenda mu bondi ng'ogenda gula emmotoka ne bw'oba togenze na Arthur ng'olina ssente zigula emmotoka eziwera million 35 which is now like the era ndowooza ensonga lwaki buli ommotoka buli wansi million 26 23 okitegeera kubanga buli mu Daihatsu engines okitegeera mpozi waliwo nezirimu 1NZ ezitali Valvematic I have red for 5k resolution and black magic for 6k. Gwe guy ngo ina equip naye museera kansoke shooting ewaka nkole sente nsobole okuweza sente zinakozesa kamera zammwe. Yeah, so emoroka zemba mugula mze esawe eno I would not want to see a young person okujjako nga budget ye kulemesa buying a EFI car. Tandikira mu VVTI ebyo mugamba mbo oyagala gula road tourer musimanyo oyagala gula Nadia. Budget is the only thing that should take you to buy those cars. If it's not budget, there is no reason at all for you to buy. Simanyo bantegerekeka. Right now wofuna akasente gula nuwe nempya. Biri na kubeba mpya. Abantu bachavuga zizi road tourer erimu VVTI. Okitegeera. Bobo ina sente zisukakaawo. Nonya nuwa erimu 3ZR. Okitegeera. Kenneth Best webalekera Nelson Waboyi bana guys like the broadcast muri abiri mbabiri choka nyako likes mukaga and whenever you can kindly share the broadcast whenever you can but banga it's not too much to ask, share the broadcast so that channel ya fe yongera tegende wala okitegeera. Michael Warren Semosu Wilba Moses Muwanga Tabo Frank Samuel Sise Musomesa Atumanya Samuel Ismail Semukoteka Tracy J. Nicholas Sami Mugalasi Joshua Slim Stoner. Yes, like Zayonge Deco. Now they are 8. Let's like Rastas in Milan. Adams Mawanda Alan. Guys, don't forget I have a TV show that I produced and directed myself. It's going to start airing on Pearl Magic Loco. Pearl Magic Loco is a TV station owned by DSTV, so you can only watch it via GoTV and DSTV. So it's Pearl Magic Loco. Gwenonya Pearl Magic Loco channels sinazi kwata figures in bongo. So my actors actually know the channel codes better than me. This is my channel codes. I only know the station. Yeah, Clip Films, Editunes, King Daniels, Govinda, Disco Dancer, Antonio, Martha Director, Martha Academy, Benjamin B, Gaetano, Council Patrick Asiku, Mr. Lucias, good evening. Jeremy, share the specs of the new laptop. How much? Hey, zenagula diru, Jeremy, nsubula Jeremy, gwe laptop zenagula. Bogena muduko jigula kati. It's 12th gen, i7, 32GB RAM, 8GB internal graphics, 8GB dedicated graphics, 1.5 tera SSD. Those specs kati Clip Films go about to put your laptop ba set meka muduka. Nze nsubula. Banange nsubula. And I think ogomukisa gwali gwa mutugo nagenda for pre-purchase inspection. Nga abafuna omukisa nga bagenze nango gule motoka. Abampa pre-purchase inspection. Kenneth Best Forester is a very good car. Very reliable car. Of course, maintaining a Forester is not the same as maintaining a Toyota. It's a little more expensive. Also, you need to understand what makes the maintenance expensive. Spares are expensive. Also, the mechanics are not so many, so it will be expensive. But also, if a Subaru breaks down on the road, somewhere not everyone can help you. Yet if a Toyota breaks down on the road, chances are high that I'll be helped. Senga Subaru efida wali the Toyota na efida wano. Wa Toyota avao wa Subaru tana avao. Your laptop ya amani. SSD is better than HDD. Definitely. It's very powerful. Nze nkugambe the way it renders. It renders faster than my editor's computer. Atenga computer ya editor wange. Editors bamanyi bowe bakole ebintu byabwe. Okitegeera. So the specs that are on this laptop, I'm really happy with it. Exactly. So kakati chonna chemukola emoroka ze muino gulanzi bagambi. Emoroka ze muino kugulanzi bagambi. Kati bobo ina sente ngaziwele milioni 3.5 kwana. Toina nsonga lwaki ogule moroka etali ya Valumatic. Because Valumatic gives you better performance at better mileage. Okitegeera. Then bobo gule moroka eri used on Uganda nodes ngo ina budget esuka milioni 10-15. tewali nsonga lwaki ogula EFI car. There is no reason whatsoever why you buy a car that doesn't have VVTI. Ochegera. Then kati bali abaka wansi wa milioni 15, you may be forced to actually buy a car that is not VVTI, but I highly recommend you top up your money and buy a VVTI engine car. Now, I don't want you to think that the Daihatsu engine will in any way be an equivalent of VVTI. Okay? The Daihatsu engine is a good engine. Thank you, Antonio. Antonio webale osindise ekintu kya cafe webale nnyo. Olaba ne channel azimanyi. Guys, let me read Antonio's comment. Don't miss the premiering of the cafe on Pearl Magic Loco. On DSTV, it's channel 142. And on GoTV, it's channel 302. Yes. Don't forget Banange Bagay at 8 p.m. tonight. Ina nankati ngenda genda uno muntu gweninda ono mweno nilejali eno munda mukwate ku mukono. Because you know obude bunatukwata oba tugenda labirawa. Bwa bunkwatira mukuwe bunkwatide when parking anenda ba show yange. I can't miss my own premiere. It will not add up. It will not add up. Wakati sawa zizi already zili mmeka. Sawa 12 n'ekitundu. Ewango okutuukayo. Kujamu ono kati nyina kunoonya wenda bira show yange wa. I'll figure that out. So anyway, guys, I wish you a very lovely evening. Joshua, Antonio banange webale kupushinga show. Martha webale nyo bananga abantu bano bapushinze show ya cafe. Mwebale nyo ku status za kubadde kujuddeko cafe. Mwebale nyo nebe mbadde sirabe status banange mwebale nyo. Mwebale ino olusoga. Mwebale munonga olulimichi. Thank you very much. Mu Faransa simayo bakyogera. Abanowe bagamba two centak. Kati je kayinza kujja nangamba na kyogedde bubi two centak. Olowe lwagano kuyiga ne bagaye kamba sibulire wano manata okunoonya ku muntu wange kuba nyina okudde wange okulaba show. Ye lwaki tukizo twalaka abantu. Kati anyimise nganze olili ntuse ne matuga. Never guys, may God bless you. Don't forget to watch the cafe today at 8 p.m. and after today it will be showing every Saturday unless otherwise atenga tebajja kukyusa lunako kujja kutwongera ennaku. Nenga mukama abawo Mr. Thank you for being part of this broadcast. If you're watching this broadcast later on, probably later on in the week or in the night or in the month or in the year, may God bless you. Thank you very much for supporting, for the love of cars. Better things are coming. Better content is coming. May God bless you. Ciao.